My YouTube channel. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Welcome to our monthly safety drumbeat with Grainger and Matthews International. I'm Amanda Maureen, your National Account Manager. And topic today to get started is going to be forklift safety. Dave Robinson let me know that that is a focus. I'm not sure if it's this month or next month, but know that you guys have a focus here recently around forklift safety. So I did invite Dominic DiNardo from Railhead on the call. So Railhead has a really unique forklift solution that I've seen great success in with some of my other customers. So wanted to kind of give him the floor today to explain that solution to you guys. And he is ready and willing to make site visits if there's anyone on the call that wants to see this stuff live and in action. We're happy to coordinate that. If you have an interest, I would say certainly feel free to reach out to your local rep or myself after the call today, and we can get something set up. Railhead also has a few different products in the safety category. So Dominic's going to review a couple of those today for you guys. And then we also have the corporate safety consultant aligned to Matthews, John Elazewski, on the call. Some of you may remember Trey Johnston historically has been aligned to Matthews. As John was just saying a little bit earlier, we did a little bit of reorganization in Grainger. Trey is still with the company, but we just did a little bit of shifting. So now John supports Matthews with myself. So he's kind of your go-to if you need a thought partner, have any questions or concerns at all. He is there to support Matthews International. So after Dominic wraps up, I'm going to have John actually walk through some of the safety solutions available to you guys on Grainger.com. Grainger.com is actually a great resource for our safety partners at our customers. Great stuff that helps kind of boost your safety program, gives you things that can help out with safety talks, a lot of great resources on there. So don't believe that we've gone through that on any of these safety calls. So wanted to give John the opportunity to address the group for the first time, and then also walk through kind of some of those things that are available to you guys free of charge on Grainger.com. So with that being said, first up is going to be Dominic with Railhead. So Dominic, the floor is yours if you want to share your screen. I know there's a video that you want me to play. So if you, once you're ready for that, just let me know and I can take the screen back and try to share that video.
Yeah, if you want to start with that, it'd probably be easiest, Amanda. So whenever you're ready, for everyone attending, I just threw my email address in the chat as well. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, think you have a good opportunity for this, please feel free to reach out. Like Amanda said, we're all about getting in the field, doing field work, site visits, supporting customers in any way we can. So look forward to hearing and working with a lot of you on this. And yeah, we'll get it going.
All right. Well, Dominic, you'll have to let me know if the volume is working. If not, no big deal. I would say just if you want to narrate if the volume doesn't work. I know sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Gotta love technology. So we will give it a go.
Sounds like a plan. Is anyone else getting sound currently?
No, sir.
No.
All right, so I'm going to kind of go through and narrate this as well. I also put the video link in the chat too if you want to go through after the meeting on your own, talk about it. But right now, dive into our pause system. It's got three components here. This first one they're talking about is our vehicle tag, and that operates as the brain box of this. It's going to communicate from vehicle to vehicle that it's placed on here. And it's got an audio indicator that's going to be attached to that. It's going to give verbal prompts to the driver to let them know when they're in collision areas, to give them an opportunity to slow down or prevent collision. This is the pedestrian tag. It can be worn on any of the floor workers, and that is also going to produce a tone and vibrate for them, letting them know when they're in that area of the forklift, as you can kind of see with the images above. It's using a ultra wideband frequency, a UWB, to communicate. So best way to describe that for those who aren't familiar with it, it's kind of like a modern version of a radio wave. So it doesn't require Wi-Fi or internet. When someone is in there, the driver is going to get a prompt stating warning and then danger if they continue to get closer. The pedestrian will have a vibration on their sensor and a tone produced as well. This will work in this scenario here with the vehicle as well. Both will get a warning prompt and then a danger if they continue in that course of action with each other, letting the one know to stop. They can see the other one coming through. And this here is our zone tag. So this is going to work for, blind corners, high traffic areas. It's a red flashing light with tone that is going to go off on a preset distance when the forklift enters it. It can be anywhere from 5 to 35 meters. It's very easy installation too, 12-volt plug-in, magnetic base, so you don't really have to do a lot of changes to your sites. And this one here, our crossway zone tag, best way to describe it is kind of like a stoplight. This is great for, four-corner intersections with high traffic areas in your warehouse or site. So, as we kind of conclude this up, I would definitely encourage everyone to take a look at the video with the sound on when they have a chance. It gives you a great idea on it. But the main component of this here is we want to have preventative warehouse safety. I see a lot of different services or equipment out there that are reactive. We want to be proactive. We want to prevent the collisions, not find out who is responsible for them. So, with that being said, I'm going to dive into a little more here. I got a presentation just to kind of give us a better idea of, what we have to offer and how it could benefit the sites. So give it just a second here. You guys able to see my screen?
Yep, we can.
Yeah.
Perfect. So just a little bit, start off Railhead, who we are. We're based out of Chicago, founded in 1964. 57 years in the industrial manufacturing business. We've been partnered with Grainger since 2012. Currently have 100 plus part numbers with Grainger. So our POS system, being one of our newer items, doesn't have it yet. So it's unfortunately sourcing until the end of this year. But we have a lot of other great stuff there too for easy, convenient ordering and a co-branded catalog I can share with you all as well. Take a look at. We all know if we could avoid the sourcing process, it makes life so much easier. So that's a video link that we just went through here. So wide range of safety opportunities for forklifts. We got the front, rear, and side-facing lights. We've got vehicle lights for trucks and other things, golf carts, anything with a motor going through your facility. We've got some opportunity for it. We have our PAWS, which is the device you saw there, and then we have our EODs, which are additional add-ons. So those could be things for door and gate control, speed regulations, and we'll dive into that more as it comes up here. But we have a lot of cool features that are growing with it as this product continues to grow and expand for us. So zone tag, as we saw in the video, is that LED light. It has
Hey, Dominic.
Yes.
I don't know about anybody else. I still just see the main slide,
Right.
the beginning
Yeah.
slide.
Hold on here.
That's correct.
Let's take a look. That's not good. Not even the right one up here. Hold on a second.
There we go.
All right. Are we seeing that now? Are we on the Who is Railhead slide?
We
Yes.
are.
Okay, perfect. So we just went through that one. So jumping here is where I was left off. Everyone can see the screen here. We got the 3 columns.
Yep, you're good now.
Yep, we're
You
good.
got it.
Perfect. All right. So diving a little bit more into our zone tag. It is this red LED light here. Big thing we see that are really positive with this is one, it's going to give the full site the alert and updates that forklift is coming through. So whether it's a pedestrian, another lift, or someone who just might be cutting through the area because they don't want to walk outside because it's raining or whatever reason, they know that lift's coming. It's a great preventative measure. We're so trained in our lights these days to look at these red flashing lights, police cars, ambulances, fire trucks. Our first reaction is what's going on? Make sure I'm not texting, paying attention to the road, and we get the same effects in the warehouse. People are talking, looking at their phone, not paying attention to their environment. They see that light go off, they hear that tone, they react, they're something much more alert and in a position to make preventative decisions. So that way they're not having to make reactive decisions. And, the one biggest complaint or argument we always hear is, well, does it become repetitive or are they not used to it? And at the same time, you see an ambulance or a fire truck every few days driving to and from sites, I guarantee it. you're still going to be alert for those. You're still going to react to those. And it's the same thinking in our minds. And that's why we keep it with that red and with that tone. So that way we are aware of it. It's got a magnetic base for easy mounting too. So, metal rafters, rackings, corners, it's going to be easy installation. And it's going to be alerted for those vehicle tags. We're going to move back over to this one here. That's the brain box. It goes with the audio indicator. That's going to communicate to the driver. So it's going to have that preset proximity around, like we kind of saw in that video, that red circle. So if it's set at roughly 8 meters, just to say, using a number to start, once it gets in with 6 meters, the prompt switches to danger to let them know they're still on that collision course. Great thing for this is when they hear that, they know that the other driver hasn't reacted and that they need to do something proactive in that time before there's a bigger consequence. It's IPX67 rated, so if facilities are both indoor and outdoor or have a lot of dust or cold temperatures, it's going to work in there. So we've got a solution for that. It's very well, built to last. It's also got that magnetic base too, so you're not drilling or going through your forklift. Installation is one black, one red wire tie-in. I am by no means a master electrician or even an amateur one, but they've taught me how, to get these on there, and I've kept my eyebrows the entire time, knock on wood. So I think, these site maintenance guys will have no problem with it. And then the last one to touch on is pedestrian tag. This one is rechargeable. You have the option for like the helmet clip on the left, or to the right, the armband. Kind of reminds me of like the early 2000s iPod running band. And those are great to be worn, anywhere in the warehouse. They are rechargeable. 6-hour charges, getting you about an 8-hour shift there, roughly 40 to 48 hours, so getting you through the work week easily. It's a micro USB charging, so it's a very common charger. It's something you can run to Walmart or Amazon if you want to get a charging bay or additional cables for them. That's going to detect the forklift, the vehicle tag coming through. So anytime that's coming in any area near that pedestrian or worker, they're going to get that alert. It's going to give them that heads up. This is great for when the forklift might have its forks up, pedestrians carrying something or doing something, and they're both not at full visibility and alertness to prevent those kind of collisions or near misses. I've also seen sites who will take the 3M double-sided Velcro tape that Grainger has, and they'll fasten these to things like visitors badges or even the safety vests if they're wearing them on site. It's just an easier way to kind of have them secured, available, and stored. So just something to think about too. It's real nice, when maybe you have someone from OSHA or corporate coming to visit, that they get that and they get that extra level of protection and alertness to see the steps you guys are taking to elevate your forklift and warehouse safety. A little bit more with our crossway tag here. This is one of our newer ones we released here July 1st, so it's only been out a month yet. But this is kind of like the, street light here. So you got in this image here, the blue light, that's the all clear one. It's going to produce a blue beam down onto the floor as well. And then if one vehicle is approaching, the signal up top right there will switch to a red triangle so that maybe pedestrians can see that around, let them know that, the vehicle is coming through. And then the X will let them know that there's multiple vehicles coming through so that both of them know to stop, see who's got the right of way, and prevent collisions there. Really a cool, new feature with this. This is great for some bigger sites where there's a lot of traffic in areas, or maybe even, when you're entering different parts of the building. I've seen it have success with too, where you might not be able to see around the corner as well. But really excited to get this out there. If you have more or want additional information on any of this too, let us know. We've got cut sheets, demos, all that fun stuff. Moving away from our forklift safety pause system a little bit to some of our other items, we've got our LED lights here. So this is just our rear or our front and rear facing ones here. So you can see out there, it goes about 20 feet out. And then in the back of that picture, you can see it as well. These are a great, right off the bat solution. You can put it onto your forklifts to get immediate results and improve the safety on there. They're cost efficient. They're going to give you somewhere around 50,000 hour lifespan on the bulb. So really just a great value product there to get forklift safety up and going right away on a site that might need it. I know we're at the point now in 2023 where a lot of sites have moved to this. So if you have sites that are looking to, we've got great costs. And if you have sites that need to, this is a way to get your foot in the door with Railhead products. Another one here is a newer one is our side light here. So it gives you that caution light on the side. This is great for going down like aisleways, especially if there's, racking or storage. Gives the, anyone on the floor or their forklift that, do not cross line there to prevent it. This is a 600 lumen light. It's also going to have a 50,000 hour lifespan, IPX68 rated, so it's going to be very durable. It can, withstand dust if it gets wet or moist, cold temperatures. aluminum casing to prevent, the heat, or overheating. And it's got the bolt on or drill free options. We have magnets as well. I know some sites, when they run their forklifts, they don't want to be putting a bunch of holes or bracketing on them. So that's a solution for that there too, if they run into it. And then this is our newest one as well. Just came out as July 1st for lighting. It's our arch light. As you can see, it makes that U light around the forks. It's also available in a rear option. And I've seen a few sites who've just started doing this. They have a front and rear arch light as well as a side light, creating a full 360 perimeter around the forklift, so that's always visible. This is IPX67 rated, so it's going to be a little less durable than the other one. It's still going to withstand dust, debris, wind. Might not be the best to take a power washer to it or scuba dive with it, but otherwise no problems. 1,000 lumen light, 50,000 hour life on the bulb light, and again that stainless steel mounting to keep it from overheating. And then the bracket or magnet option, depending on how you want to install it on your forklift. All these lights are 2-wire tie-in as well, one red, one black, so easy tie-in installation right there. And then another one we wanted to talk about was our overhead crane light and safety. So this is our crane light here, 3,600 lumens, IPX67 rated. So dust, dirt, wind, cold temperatures, all that's going to withstand very well. 50,000 hour runtime on the bulbs, 9-inch stainless steel frame, so it's going to be real solid and sturdy. I know on those cranes it's going to get bumped and dinged, so it's built to last up there. And then it's got the user-friendly bracketing as well, where it could be magneted on, or has the screws to bracket on if you want something a little more secure on your mounting. And with the crane safety as well, we've had a lot of sites recently who have been able to install the vehicle tag from pause right onto the crane there. It wires in perfectly. And as that overhead crane moves through different areas, they set up those zone tags so that goes off with the lights and tone to let everyone know it's coming through. And also anyone wearing the pedestrian tags is going to be alerted that crane is coming through. So if any of these sites have, those overhead cranes with high activity, this is a great way to improve that safety as well. I also know one of the biggest, causes of damage with these overhead cranes is if you got to suddenly stop it or collision it. So this is a great way to reduce damage, and we all know we're trying to do that here to keep from having to add on added cost at the end of things. And that is it there for my little presentation. Any questions? We're kind of wrapping up here.
Hey, Dominic, this is Brian over at the Whited site in California. I had a question actually specifically about this crane light. How does it, I guess, what's the illumination as far as putting it like 20 or 30 feet in the air?
So this is going usually from 20 to 35, so it's going to fit right in that wheelhouse. I have one customer who's got a 16-foot one, and it's working really well for them. It's just a little bolder and thicker than normal on the ground. We've tested this up to 45 feet high, and you still get it there. It's just we would like it to be a little brighter, so we're also working on developing one that's going to have, that little bit brighter light from the higher one too, so keep an eye out for that.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Hey, Dominic, question for you. Do you think that you could ask any current customers that are using this overhead crane light if they would be willing to kind of share their experience in case there are questions? I know there was a different crane solution that we were looking at for a few Matthews sites, and it was kind of newer to the United States. So they didn't really have a lot of customers that were willing to chat with us. But do you think that's something that I can give you as a little bit of homework for us?
I could definitely reach out. Obviously, I've got to confirm with the sites with their, PR policies and everything, but I don't see it being an issue. With our pause system, many of our customers are more than willing to share their success stories and how it's helped them. So I don't see why this would be any different.
Okay, awesome. I appreciate it. All right. Any additional questions for Dominic before we let him go?
So,
Yeah,
hey,
Dominic,
Dom,
this is Mark. I'm actually a seller out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, how you doing, Mark?
So I'm kind of guys blowing, so I'm sorry. Two-pointed question. First portion, Railhead does on forklift safety of apparatuses, but do you have a recommendation for forklift safety enclosures, for one? And secondly, do we have an updated catalog with the pause system available in it that we can present to the customer?
Hey, Mark. So for the enclosures, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. Like, are you talking about like the actual vehicle itself or what?
Yes, so the forklift itself would have to be enclosed, encapsulated, I guess, in a sense, in a screen of some sorts, for purposes because an employee needs to have it in such a way that they can fit inside of it. Similar to Mitsubishi makes one, but these are not Mitsubishi conforming vehicles. So they're TCW, Yale, Tucson, for example. Not sure what they're looking for, but we'd like to find out if we could get a vendor that could provide for us. Not maybe Railhead, I don't know.
So unfortunately, we don't manufacture the enclosures, but I do work with a couple forklift manufacturers who actually buy like our lights to pre-put on their vehicles before they rent out. So if you want to shoot me an email after this, I'm going to reach out to them after this call and we could kind of set up a time to talk a little bit more. And if one of them offers something like that, we could set up a conference call with all three of us.
Sure, that'd be terrific.
Hey, Dom, this is John Olszewski with Grainger. And so one of the things I was wondering about was with your pause system, what's the decibel rating of the audio alarm system?
So for the zone tag, putting me on a spot here, I know want to say 95 on their decimals, but I might be mixing it up with the audio indicator. I'm actually pulling up my cheat sheet on it right now, so give me just a second here.
Sure. Or if that's something you have to follow up with, that's fine too. I think it would be kind of good to know, some environments are noisier than others. Or that.
So the pedestrian tag is up to 98 decimals on that.
Okay.
And then the zone tag, the LED light, is decimals up to 110.
Thank you.
And in addition to with that, for the zone tag, if you are in, a louder facility or where they're wearing some, heavy duty ear protection, they also sell an amplifier for that could be attached to increase volume. So if that's a concern there, we do have that add-on device as well.
And that's for the zone tag?
That is, yes, for the zone tag.
Okay. Then are you going to share your deck with the team on the call?
Had not been asked for it, but I'm more than willing to share on it, John. If you want to shoot me an email at this, I'll give you a copy of it and you could distribute it out if you'd like.
Okay.
Hey, Dominic,
Amanda,
if you could just send that to me, because after these calls, I send out the link to YouTube and any supporting documents that you've got.
Perfect. I'll get it over to you, Amanda.
Awesome. Well, Dominic, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it. If anyone has any follow-up questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We'll get you connected with Dominic. Thanks again, Dominic.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Email is in the chat here. Please feel free to reach out. We cover all 50 states, Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, just about anywhere you could send us. Always looking to work with more Grainger reps, so please reach out. We're excited for this opportunity. Thank you for the time today.
Thanks, Dominic.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Dominic.
thanks,
All right,
Dominic.
everyone, we are going to pivot and give John the floor to review Grainger resources that you can find right on Grainger.com.
Excellent. I'm assuming everyone can see my slideshow.
Yep, we can see it.
Awesome.
You got it.
All right. Actually, I'm going to pivot because it's sharing the wrong screen because you're seeing this in presentation or not in presentation mode. So it should work. But first thing I want to do is obviously introduce myself, John Olszewski. I'm a corporate safety consultant with Grainger, been with Grainger for 22 years and have been in multiple roles with Grainger. Prior to that, been on the other side of the desk as the team members for Matthews as a corporate safety director in manufacturing. Also worked for the state of Wisconsin as an OSHA consultant. So definitely have empathy for the team to be able to understand that there's definitely a not enough time in the day and not enough resources to get a lot of the things done, and you're always being pulled in multiple directions. But really today is to hopefully to obviously alert you to the fact that, you know, if you've worked with Trey before, same role. If you haven't worked with Trey, here's an opportunity to essentially use myself as a resource, an additional resource besides our field safety specialists that we have that are market-based. We also have myself that's more from a corporate perspective. So again, just an additional resource, an extension of your safety team. So if there's things that you're working on, have a question on, wanting to do some research, but don't have the time, you can reach out to myself and Amanda, and we can definitely help support those type of initiatives, whether they're product related or service related as well. What we want to do essentially is take a look at some of the additional services, and didn't look like my slides advanced, so I do have to back out of this. So bear with me a second, and I'll escape out of here. I have 3 screens, and of course, sometimes one is too many. And let's take a look and see if we can get back into. There we go. And
Good, John, we can see the next slide.
Okay, there we go. So what essentially is the innovation and EHS tools that we have on our website. So there's several different components to our resources. Again, these are value add things that we have available. And so the first one that is, you can see that first box really kind of talks about like 4 different interactive resources that we have. So the first one essentially is the Grainger know-how. And what the Grainger know-how is designed for the safety professional. It's more thought leadership type discussions and articles that you would be able to utilize to be able to talk, about and read more about like safety culture, rather than maybe more of the more technical driven quick tips. So I'm just going to pause for a second. Just curious, on the team on the call, how many have had the opportunity to utilize any of the resources before we go too much farther previously on Grainger.com?
Hey, John, this is David. I use the Grainger know-how quite a bit for some checklists and stuff. I think it's a valuable tool.
Okay. Yeah, and so I think one of the things, and maybe I'll pause here before I go. Anybody else have the opportunity besides David? Okay, so again, these are the different types of resources that you're seeing there. That was pictured in that first slide. So you have the Grainger know-how, and again, clicking on that, this is going to really kind of get into several different types of topics. Some of them are safety and health driven, some of them are operations driven, and some of them are more industrial focus. So again, we're very focused on EHS with ESG. And so again, Grainger and safety professionals love acronyms. So again, just taking a look at some of the different types of topics, and even some of our focuses. We'll talk a little bit about some of the webinars that we have available to support, kind of what's on top of mind of safety professionals. So ESG, so we can kind of dig in, and if you wanted to learn more about ESG and really understanding the wellness portion, and also get into maybe some of the technology, you could go into this. The other thing, obviously, with ESG, it is around solar and the energy reduction that we have the ability to support. So again, a lot of different types of resources that are available. And again, as we talk about, that's really driven and designed to support the safety leadership of organizations. The next one is David.
Hey, John, really quick. I just wanted to mention this in case people didn't see it. On that know-how, there actually is a search bar. So if there's a particular topic that you guys are wanting to research, wanting to look at. Like I looked at forklift, and there's, you know, topics around or resources around forklift safety that are on there. So right there on that search bar, any safety topic that's top of mind for you guys, it's an initiative, you can type that in right there, and it'll pop up.
Good call out. So again, how we should talk about safety culture, improving the safety culture, just a lot of different types of resources on that particular topic, and then getting into, you know, myths and other things as well. So great, you know, endless assortment of articles and like I said, thought leadership type direction of those topics. The next one is very similar in format, but is more designed for maybe like toolbox talks, to be able to really kind of have more of a technical driven direction. And so just had kind of some conversations around forklift safety. So again, here's a quick tip on forklift operator training. It's going to really kind of address it. So essentially, they could be used, like I mentioned, for toolbox talks, or if there's a topic that, again, that you're not as familiar with and need to do a little more digging into, this is always a great place to start. It's going to not only give you, you know, some of the OSHA background, what standards are really applicable, and then it's also going to give you some additional, you know, requirements. But then they have a Q&A. They do have direct links to the OSHA website, osha.gov, and gives you a lot of additional kind of at your fingertips, just some quick and easy references to help with a topic that you may have concern about, or when you're stuck and you don't know what's the next safety topic of the for the, or you have to lead off a meeting, you have to have a safety topic as well. This is a great opportunity. But as you'll see, there's over 300 of these quick tips that help design your toolbox talks, or again, give you some additional reference materials for additional deeper understanding. The next one that you'll see here is going to be around checklists. And again, these are OSHA-driven checklists. So, you know, if you have an initiative on site and you wanted to, you know, quickly just do a check on a pulse check on where we are from maybe confined spaces. So again, you could click on permit required confined spaces, and you'll see they're very standard OSHA-driven checklists. So it gives you not only the, you know, kind of like here's what you should be looking for, but then also here's the citation from the OSHA regulations for confined spaces, 1910-146. And then it kind of gives you, again, a standardized approach to do a quick assessment of your facility. So you could say, okay, this month we're going to look at confined spaces. Here's some checklists that you can utilize if you are looking for additional supplemental type materials to do the inspections. Just like the Grainger Know-How Center, you can actually, whether it's quick tips or, and again, here on the checklist, you can do a control F, brings up a search box, and you could type in a topic. We'll just say lockout tagout, and it tells me that there's two articles, or no, it's actually just one, because the first one's just the header that is related to that topic. So again, does a quick and easy search that helps save you some time to be able to address specifically what you're looking for. And then the next section that we're going to talk about is going to be around the safety moment. So I kind of talked about maybe utilizing quick tips, but this is actually designed for those times where you have to kick off a meeting and you have to start off with a safety message. Here's a kind of a cheat sheet that allows you to look at very timely and topical type conversations. So this one happens to be just around annual training requirements. So, you know, taking a look at, hey, what are the topics that we have to cover on an annual basis for OSHA training to be compliant? So this gives you that references and talks through, hey, if we have a fire brigade, if respiratory protection, some specific ones from a chemical perspective as well. And it does give you, the reference so that you can do a deeper dive. You'll find other topics as well, and does, again, gives you the opportunity to do that quick search to learn a little bit more to help support your training. So here's their past themes. So obviously we know October is usually fire prevention month. All started with Mrs. O'Leary's cow. And so again, one of the longest standing programs in the United States from a safety side. And so again, when October rolls around, here's a reference materials for you to be able to utilize for newsletters or safety meetings as well. And then the other area that we can look at is we do have EHS webinars. And so if you can't make the webinars, again, these are free of charge. Some people will utilize these for internal trainings because it does give you a standardized approach. Everybody can log in and listen to it. You don't get any CEUs with it, but you do get a certificate of attendance or completion. And it does allow you to essentially utilize some of the resources that we have. Some of them are, American Society of Safety Professional team members. Some of them are internal team members. We do have, I think the last one that we did, a lot of them are SIF related, but as I kind of talked about earlier, the other one that has been a very kind of topic is around ESG. And so again, this one happens to be around energy management, and we utilize two of our team members that are one's a CSP and the other one's just a director. I shouldn't say just, but he's a director of services. And so to be able to help talk through some of the sustainability type projects that they're seeing customers are reaching out for, and how we can support that and help you guide your ESG program. So again, they're on demand, as well as once you can sign up and get notifications of the different types of seminars. Previous topics have been more driven SIF related. This year's been more of an ESG related, but so we've had fall protection and working at heights and SIF significant injury and fatality type topics as well. And then the other thing that I'd like to show you that's also part of this is the SIF and hazard immersion tool. So I'm not sure if you've had the chance to see this, and I'll pull it up here. We'll send out this very brief slide deck so that you can have access to this. All you have to do is, these are all live links on the slide deck. So you can just click in there and it brings you to the right resources. This is an interactive tool. Some people have used this for training exercise. I happen to be a OSHA 10 instructor for a local high school. So part of the program that I do is have the high school students, as part of their apprenticeship program, is to go through this exercise. Just takes them through at different areas of a facility. So it starts off on the outside of the building, and then working your way through that the facility. So it gives you an office scenario, gives you an electrical room, gives you a warehouse, a mechanical room, as well as rooftop safety. So you could just essentially click on one of the areas, and this one happens to be rooftop safety. It's interactive. You can essentially move it up, see some of the birds, but then obviously look for other hazards that are out here. There are staged hazards. Some of them are safety SIF related. Some of them are maintenance related, and some of them are you'll click and you find out it's not I thought it was, it looked like it was, but it's not. So it kind of gives you that opportunity to use this as a training tool. You could bring certain team members through and then there is an answer key that would show where the ones are. But as you can see, we have an unguarded roof hatch. And then we have, here's some, dropped object opportunities that kicking off with no railing. We got an employee at a leading edge, and it does, and here's a skylight that's unguarded. So a lot of different things that kind of talk through hazards that, are very applicable may not be your specific facility. This is actually developed by the same company that we had a conversation with some of your team leadership from Train Point that kind of talked through, but this is what that looks like in a training tool that Grainger has on their website. So again, a great resource, value add, and allows you to take some of your employees through a hazard recognition tool that allows you to learn more about that. So that's a lot of the resources that we have available. Again, we obviously there's tons of products and things, but I think one of the things that Amanda was really trying to have us highlight today is to talk through some of the aspects of resources that are available to support your EHS function. So gonna pause there just to see if there's any questions or comments that you have about these resources.
You did an awesome job, John. No
I must have.
questions,
No,
I guess.
there was no questions, right? Yeah, that's usually.
Well, thank you so much for running through that. Glad you got the opportunity to address the group here. John, if you want to shoot this deck over to me, I will make sure that I send that out along with the Railhead information that Dominic was nice enough to run through. As always, recording will be on the YouTube channel. And definitely, if you guys have any topics, ideas, I always want to make sure these calls are relevant to Matthews International. So I know a couple of you have reached out in the past and said, hey, I'd like to see something around, X, Y, and Z. I'm more than happy to invite on a vendor or an internal partner to support those calls. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you've got any ideas. But we will wrap it up. Thank you so much for the time, as always, and I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their week.
Amanda, one thing, if I could state it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I just got on the